Okay, so I copied row 2, and now let's start. 1 times negative 3 plus 3.
0.
Now this is messy. Negative 1/2 times negative 3, it's a positive number. 3 over 2, luckily I only have to add 0, so it's 3 over 2. Same thing here. Positive 3 over 2, I add 0, it is 3 over 2. Now, 10 times 1 minus 10. I really hope for 0. Careful now. Negative 10 divided by 2, it's negative 5, minus 1, negative 6. This is still negative 5, plus 11 is positive 6. We accomplished a lot. Where are we now, and what should we do?
Divide by negative 6.
Excellent. This by negative 6 is 1. This by negative 6 is negative 1. I copy the rest. Can anyone give us z already? You cannot give me x and y, but can you give me z?
Negative 1.
That's it. Now, obviously, we have to use row 3. It's the last step. And add it to multiply by something and add it to row 2. So what do I multiply 1 by to add here and get 0? What do I multiply 1 by to add here and get 0? So this is our last step, a 0 here and a 0 here. So for 3 over 2, I have to multiply by negative 3/2. For negative 1/2, I have to multiply by 1/2. Final step. Which row do I copy? Because obviously it cannot change in addition to everything else.
Third row.
Yes. So let's do this together. 1 times negative 3/2 plus 3/2, it better be 0. Negative 1 times negative 3/2 is positive 3/2, plus 3/2 is 6/2, which is 3. 1 times 1/2 minus 1/2, it better be 0. Negative 1 times 1/2 is negative 1/2, minus 1/2, negative 1. We can come up with an idea of a solution, but it's so easy to make a mistake. I have no idea whether it works. But what should it be?
3, negative 1, negative 1.
Question mark, I have no idea. 3, negative 1, 3, negative 1, negative 1, 3, negative 1, negative 1. I have no idea. That's why it's strongly, strongly recommended to go back. Okay. 3 minus 3. Yes. 3 minus 1. 2 minus 1. 1. Yes. 3 times 3 is 9, but plus 1 is 10, and plus 1 is 11. Yes. A sigh of relief. Yes, I checked. Any questions about Gauss-Jordan? It's called Gauss-Jordan method or Gauss-Jordan elimination, whatever. Do we want to look at another example? Anyone? Another example?
I would not mind another example.
Very good. Let's take a look. In your book, you will find examples with 4. Linear equations in 4 variables. No, I don't care. If you know how to do the 3 by 3, you will know how to do the 4 by 4. Just 3 by 3, good enough. Okay, ready? I'm looking on page 631. Is there anything else? Yeah, 28 caught my eye. I don't think I did 28 before. On 631. 28. 3x plus y minus z equals 0. X plus y plus 2z equals 6. So 3x plus y minus z equals 0. X plus y plus 2z equals 6. And 2x plus 2y plus 3z equals 10. I'm checking again. 3x plus y, yes, that's correct. 0, x plus y plus 2z equals 6. And 2x plus 2y plus 3z equals 10. Perfect. This is our system. Let's write the augmented matrix. That's our starting point. You can notice already something and suggest a change right away, so we don't have to waste our time and write it twice. Can you suggest anything, knowing that this first entry, first row, first column, this first entry has to be 1? Can you suggest anything?
Multiply it by -3. Wait, no, flip them.
Right? Because I noticed that one of them, so I can swap, because the order doesn't change the solution, right? I can already swap these two, so I already have the 1 here. So I'm going to put 1, 1, 2, 6 first. Who cares which order we put them in? But for us, it's important to have the 1 already. I'm going to put this here as 3, 1, -1, 0, and then 2, 2, 3, 10. I saved some time. I can write it as is and then say, oops, oh, well, let's swap. Okay, so now we have already accomplished this. But my next step has to be the corresponding zeros. So then I have to use row 1 and add it to row 2 after I multiply it by the appropriate number. And row 1 multiply by the appropriate number and add it to row 3. So what do we need? Yes.
-3 and -2.
Very good, of course. Which row I have to copy so I don't forget, because it cannot change right now.
1.
And now let's do this. Remember, we have to multiply everything and add to the corresponding entry. This times this added here, this times this added here, this times this added here, and this times this added here. So 1 times -3 but plus 3 will be?
0.
Yes. 1 times -3 and -1 will be?
-4. -2, excuse me.
Very good,
Plus.
no problem, no problem. I'm checking myself also. So 2 times -3 is -6 minus 1, -7. And -18 plus 0 is still -18. Ugly. I will see. 1 times -2 plus 2. 1 times -2 plus 2. 2 times -2 is -4 plus 3, -1. 6 times -2, -12 plus 10, -2.
-2.
Good. Very good. We already know z, right? But we're not there yet. We will have to simply multiply or divide both sides by -1, and we have z equals 2. But we are still here. We have to divide. I cannot swap You can never try to swap with the first two because this is already carved in stone. But I have to divide both sides, or all these entries in row 2 has to be divided by -2. So I copy 1, 1, 2, and 6, 0, 0. I can also divide here, row 3 also by -1, and 1 and 2. Now I have 0. -2 divided by -2 is 1. -7 divided by -2, I know it's ugly, but that's what it is, 7/2. 6 divided by -2 is -3. -3 minus 18, -21. I'm sorry, I jumped. Sorry. So -2 divided by -2 is -7 divided by -7, -18 divided by -2, my apologies, and that's 9. Sorry, I was thinking ahead. Okay, so now this is what we wanted, a 1, but now I have to get the 0 here. So I have to use row 2, multiply it by -1, and add it to row 1. There is nothing I can do here. These are all done. And this is done as well. But I have to multiply this by -1 to eliminate that. So 0, 1, 7/2, 9. 0, 0, 1, 2, and 1. 1 times -1 plus 1. -7/2 plus 2. -7/2 plus 2 will be -3/2. And 9 times -1 is -9 plus 6 is -3. Final step. So all this is done, luckily for us, but we have to eliminate these two, this and this. At this stage, we have to use row 3. We multiply it by 3/2 and add it to row 1. And row 3 multiplied by -7/2 and add it to row 2. Okay, so let's see. This is final step. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2. 1 times 3/2 minus 3/2. Careful now. 2 times 3/2 is 3, minus 3 is 0. 1 times -7/2 plus 7/2 is 0. 2 times -7/2 is -7 plus 9 is 2. Who knows? But we can make a conjecture, or our idea and hope is that the solution is
0, 2, 2.
0, 2, 2. Who knows? I don't. Anything is possible. 0, 2, 2. 0, 2, 2. 0, 2, 2. 0, 2, 2. 0. 2 minus 2. Yes. 0. 2 plus 4. 6. Yes. 0. 4 plus 6. 10. Yes. Yes. I checked. Any questions? Any questions? Do we feel somewhat better about this?
Yes, it's just long.
Yes. It's just that if you have established the sequence, you should be okay. Can mistakes occur? Plenty. But this is a different way of doing substitution, doing elimination. You understand that. We're multiplying and then creating a new equation or a new row.
Yes.
Good. Do you think we have about 10 minutes, roughly till 12 minutes left? You would like me to work on another problem, or you would like to continue with the last section 8.1? I don't know if I want to do it in 10 minutes, but it's up to you. I let you decide.
I don't care either or. I feel like the homework's going to get me to where I need to be for 6.1, so it's up to you.
You want to choose something from homework, maybe?
I can, let me open it real fast.
Yeah. Let's choose something from
All right, so this is question 7 for 6.1 for me.
yes, I'm ready.
3x minus 3y plus 3z equals negative 15. The next one is 5x minus 2y minus 5z equals negative 5. And then the last one is x minus 4y equals negative 3.
Very good. Perfect. First, I look at the system like I always do, and I realize, I can simplify the first one. I cannot simplify the second, I cannot simplify the third, but I prefer simplifying the first one by, both sides by
3.
Yes. Then I realized that the system is exactly how I wanted it to be. X below X, Y below Y, Z below Z equals symbol, which is the bar in the augmented matrix, and the free terms on the other side. So then I'm ready to write the augmented matrix. 1, negative 1, 1, negative 5. 5, negative 2, negative 5, negative 5. 1, negative 4, 0, and negative 3. Is this okay?
Yes.
Perfect. The first point, the first step is done because I already have a 1 in the upper left corner. So I can go ahead and use row 1 and add it to row 2 after I multiply by the appropriate, and row 1 again and add to row 3. So the target is now to get a 0 here and to get a 0 here. After I get the 1 in the column, all I need is the corresponding zeros. Is to get the corresponding zeros in each row. So what do I multiply?
Negative 5 and
That's it. Which row I copy?
1.
Very good. So I have 1, negative 1, 1, and negative 5. Negative 5 times 1 minus 5, it better be 0. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. That's not the right number. Negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Positive 5 minus 2 is 3. Negative 5 times 1 and minus 5 is negative 10. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, and minus 5 is 20. Is this okay?
Yes.
Let's double check. Negative 5, yes, and this is negative, so it's 5 minus 3. Minus 2 is 3. Negative 5 minus 10 and 25, yeah. Good, the next one. 1 times negative 1 plus 1, it better be 0. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Plus 0 is still negative 1. Negative 5 times negative 1 is 5. Minus 3 is 2. Ugly no matter what we do. And we have to divide by 3. Any questions so far? Is this okay, everyone? So this was 0, this was 1, this was -3, -1, correct. 5 minus 3 is 2. And the other one is okay. Good. So let's divide by 3. Row 2 divided by 3, because we need the 1 in here. Why I need the 1? So I can eliminate these 2. So 1, -1, 1, -5. 0, -3, -1, the last row. Of course 0, of course 1, -10 over 3, and 20 over 3. Okay. I need to multiply row 2 by something and add it to row 1. And row 2 by something else and add it to row 3. Because I need to eliminate this and I need to eliminate that. I copy row 2. And of course the 1 and the 0. Of course. That cannot change. So we multiply by 1 and by 3. 1 times 1 minus 1 better be 0. -10 times 1 is -10, and then plus 1 will be -7. And 20 times 1 minus 5, 20 over 3 minus 5, this is 15, so it's 5 over 3. One times 3 minus 3 is 0. Now this is nice. -10 over 3 times 3 is -10, minus 1 is -11. 20 over 3 times 3 is 20, plus 2 is 22. That part was nice. So we accomplished all this. This is done. But now we are focusing on this. That's the next step. What do I do with that?
Divide by 11.
Yes, -11. Good. So we divide row 3 by -11. So we get this. 1, 0, -7 over 3, 5 over 3, 0, 1, -10 over 3, 20 over 3, 0, 0, 1, -2. Final step. Since it's the final step, I need to multiply row 3 by something and add it correspondingly term by term to row 2. So, in order to eliminate the -7/3, I have to multiply by 7/3. In order to eliminate -10/3, I have to multiply by 10/3. I copy everything. One times 7/3 plus 7/3. 20 over 3, I'm sorry, -2 times this is -14/3 plus 20/3 is 6 over 3, which is 2. Finally, this times this plus this better be 0. This times this is -20 over 3 plus 20 over 3. Nice. And you can say I'm happy. No, I'm not, because I have no idea. I could have made 10 mistakes. I have to go back. Let's establish what that is. And please do not enter solutions in the calculator. I'm sorry, in the computer before you check. So, what would be the solution? Assuming that the solution is correct, but we can't, we have to go back and check. But what would be the solution?
2, 0, -2.
2, 0, -2 with a big question mark. I have no idea. 2, 0, -2. 2, 0, -2. 2, 0, -2. 2, and 0. 6 This is 0. All these are 0. So 6. I just saw that it is not working on the third one. So I have nothing to check. Because I have an error somewhere. I don't even need to check it. Even if those work, this doesn't work. 2, 0, negative 2.
It says y and z are correct, but x isn't.
Yeah, let me tell you. Well, here's my mistake right here. So negative 14, and I added this instead of adding that. I'm happy that it's at the end. So negative 2, so negative 14 thirds, and then plus 5 over 3 is negative 9 over 3, which is negative 3. It was this times this, negative 14 plus 5 over 3, so this is negative 3. Now I have to check the rest. Yeah, I don't trust myself. Negative 2, negative 14 plus 5, negative 9 over 3, that's correct. And then with this, negative 20 over 3, that's 0. Okay. I'm happy it was at the end. So 3, 0, negative 2. Okay. 9, this is 0. 9 minus, yeah, of course. See how I check my catch my mistakes. Negative 9 minus 6. Yes, that's correct. Negative 15 plus 10. Yes, that's correct. Negative 3 plus 0 is negative 3. Yes, that's correct. Yes, I checked. So it's negative 3, 0, negative 2.